Imagine a world without birds, plants, or your favorite animals. This will be a reality if we do not take any measures to stop the loss of biodiversity on Earth. In fact, experts estimate that nearly 50% of species on Earth might be extinct within the next 100 years. So, how can we conserve biodiversity? Conservation of biodiversity can be done in two ways: in situ or on-site, and ex situ or off-site. Let us understand these two methods in detail. In situ conservation, we conserve and protect the entire ecosystem. In other words, its biodiversity is protected at all levels. For example, to save tigers, we need to save the forests which are home to these vulnerable creatures. Unfortunately, many nations believe that this type of conservation is unrealistic and uneconomical, and so a number of species that need to be saved from extinction outnumber the conservational aid available. To solve this problem on a global scale, conservationists have identified biodiversity hotspots in the world. Initially, there were 25 biodiversity hotspots in the world, which was later increased to 34. Though these 34 biodiversity hotspots cover less than 2% of the Earth's land area, they are inhabited by an extremely large number of species and a high degree of endemism. The term endemism relates to species that are confined to a particular region and not found elsewhere. For example, many species of lemur are endemic to Madagascar Island. Likewise, the lion-tailed macaque is endemic to the Western Ghats of India. Our country too is rich in biodiversity, with 3 biodiversity hotspots, which include the Western Ghats, Himalayas, and Indo-Burma region. Regions with unique ecology and rich biodiversity are legally protected as biosphere reserves, national parks, and sanctuaries. As of today, we have 14 biosphere reserves, 90 national parks, and 448 wildlife sanctuaries in our country. Moreover, Indian religious beliefs and cultural traditions have always emphasized protection of nature. For example, animals such as the elephant and cow, and trees such as peepal and banyan are prohibited from being killed, as people think gods and goddesses reside in them. Moreover, in many cultures, trees and wildlife within tracts of forests called sacred groves were respected and protected. Such sacred groves are found in the Khasi and Jaintia hills in Meghalaya, Aravalli Hills of Rajasthan, Western Ghats of Maharashtra and Karnataka, and the Sarguja and Bastar areas of Chhattisgarh. The sacred groves in Meghalaya provide protection to a large number of rare and threatened plants. In this way, we can provide in situ conservation to many plants and animals in their natural habitat. However, at times, endangered plants and animals need to be taken away from their natural habitat and placed in a special care center. This method of conservation is known as ex situ conservation. Wildlife safari parks, zoological parks, botanical gardens, and seed and gene banks serve this purpose. In fact, many animals are threatened or extinct in the wild, but they continue to live safely in zoological parks. For instance, in India, the population of the one-horned rhino drastically decreased due to destruction of their natural habitat and uncontrolled poaching of its horn. But now it has been specially taken care of in the Kaziranga National Park. In the last couple of years, several advancements were made in ex situ conservation. Now, plants are propagated using tissue culture methods, and gametes of threatened species are preserved in viable and fertile condition using cryopreservation techniques. In addition, seed banks are used to preserve seeds of different genetic strains of commercially important plants for a long time. Ex situ and in situ conservation are thus used to protect and preserve our rich biodiversity. As biological wealth is not confined to political boundaries, its conservation is the collective responsibility of all nations. In 1992, the Convention on Biological Diversity, also known as the Earth Summit, was held in Rio de Janeiro, in which all nations were asked to take appropriate measures to conserve biodiversity and sustainably utilize its benefits. In a follow-up, the World Summit on Sustainable Development was held in 2002 in Johannesburg, South Africa. At this summit, 190 countries pledged their commitment to achieve a significant reduction in the current rate of biodiversity loss at global, regional, and local levels by 2010. Ways to conserve our biodiversity are endless, but it is important that we take earnest measures towards its protection and preservation before it's too late.